welcome new subscribers. I have a few new subscribers. I'm very happy. I hope that you will find more videos that you can relate to and that will help you, or the story fits your situation. I'm behind the camera right now. I've had a very full, interesting day. I made a community post about the dark moon if you would like to go and read it. I don't post over there enough, but I'm still living in a slight bit of a war zone with boxes everywhere. I've been unloading my truck and my car and doing some DoorDash. Not much. There's not very many days available. And I had made acquaintance with a man. I've been able to share what happened today with two of my female friends, but they're busy working. You know, they're single and they're one of them is self-sufficient and the other one is married with a child. We don't really talk on the phone. And I might delete this video later. I'm stuffy. My nose is stuffy now because I'm out of allergy pills. Oh, that's a really cool picture. I'm on a healing journey still, even though I've had a really big clearing of karma when I had the dream of Shiva, connecting to Shiva and the snake. My generational trauma has been cleared, and I've had to wait. You know, I'm 64 years old, and I've had to look back at my marriage and my childhood. And as I've understood things, I've been able to basically let them go with the help of spirit. What happens is you are going to be encountering people that really are not healed. They've been going through the process of changing and healing, and they may have even opened up spiritually, such as the man I've recently met. He was helpful and I thought he was kind, and I ended up giving him my phone number. But as the days have gone by and the conversations have gone by, he's been making comments that are very disrespectful to me as a woman. He's the same age as me, but I'm actually about 11 months older, I think. Maybe 8 months older. Okay? And it's hard, you know. I'm having to accept the fact that I've sprained my knee. I'm going to be even older in a couple of weeks than I am already, biologically. Mentally, I feel a lot younger. I've gained strength and muscle, and I'll show you some clips at the end of this video of me in the hot tub swimming like a mermaid. And so, on the dark moon, Astarte gave me a dream. Okay? I went to bed and I asked the ancient Sumerian goddess Astarte, who I've already built a relationship with, tonight's a dark moon. I'm going to look at this white light out here, and I'm going to, please tell me anything that you think I need to know. So on this particular night, a few nights ago, I was sitting at my table, and a person next to me said, "You have a bad attitude." And I got triggered. And I turned and I said, "The only person who has a bad attitude is you." Now, a lot of people think, hey, you know, you're defending yourself, right? It's not about turning the other cheek. It's about don't give these people the fuel. And this is what gray rocking means. If you are with a toxic relationship, okay? If you are struggling and you are with someone, maybe both of you are codependent, or maybe you're the empath and you are in a narcissistic dynamic paradigm situation. Okay, I've been talking a lot about this because as I became a shamanic practitioner and a medium, I began to realize now it is the generational trauma that I've had with narcissism that was my initiation into being a shamanic counselor. So, I'm not licensed in that area. I'm a shamanic counselor. I'm a spiritualist. Why does that look like there's a face in that rock? I see faces everywhere. Okay, so I realized immediately, ooh, why am I getting so defensive? Why am I saying this? This was a warning. Spirit was warning me, you're going to be triggered. Don't respond. Sure enough, I woke up in the morning to somebody just insulting me and devaluing me for information I gave on one of my shorts about one of my longer videos. Here's some information in this short video. If you want to protect yourself and be aware, right, of how somebody might get physical with you, if they feel you are their primary supply and they're losing you, they absolutely can get physical. And this person just claimed I was the worst, right? And I started texting a response, then I erased it, then I made another one, then I erased it, I made another one, and I realized, wait a minute. They can have the last word because you'll never win. They don't want to hear what you have to say unless they can prove, oh, you're triggered, you're defensive. Well, absolutely. I'm not dead. I am still in a body. And we can all get triggered from time to time. We can even fall back. We can even have a setback. As strong as I was after divorcing my narcissist husband, I encountered narcissist after narcissist after narcissist. But I didn't know the word yet. All of these strange behaviors fit under the umbrella of this word that gives you a handle on what's going on. Now, someone can resemble a narcissist and actually be a very codependent, empathetic person. An empath can pick up on the dark hole that a narcissist has been in for years, because that's what we do. We're like sponges. However, if you learn enough and listen enough and recognize that this person doesn't have any empathy, then you're probably dealing with a narcissist. So this gentleman that I was encountering, we've only had conversations because he's really put himself in a position where he doesn't have anything. It took me several visits and several conversations to actually realize that when he was telling me he was living in his truck, he made it sound like a good thing. Saving money, and I don't need that much, and I'm going to get this, and I just come over here to the storage unit to change my clothes. Now, I'm not telling you his name, okay? I'm not revealing anything, except that it's been really vague and really deceitful about what his situation really is. Now, we've had several conversations. He's, for the most part, been polite, and he's even been flattering. However, he's been repeatedly calling me old and old lady. Now, for someone from our generation, this is not something that we would consider polite. It's similar to asking a woman her age. And just because I offered that information when I told him I sprained my knee, and that's why I wasn't at the storage the day before, And again, he said, oh, you're getting old. So I laughed about it, okay? 2 times. Yeah, I said, I got to remind myself, I got to be careful. I've met young people that had really bad knees. It really doesn't have that much to do with age anymore. So with the conversations over the phone, I get to know a little bit more, as he is really wanting to share a lot about himself, primarily what he wants to do and why he is in the situation that he is in. Come to find out, this has not been a short-term situation at all. It's now going on for 3 years. This man is living in the back seat of his truck. And now I had mentioned that I wanted to get a camper and fix it up and live in it, and he had said, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. But, then I hear him say, this is all I need, or I'm waiting for this, I'm waiting for that. And the truth is, I'm finding out he had this window of opportunity to get his retirement money last year, but he spaced it out. So, this is a person who's really not wanting to have anything for some reason. And now the company's been sold. There's a buyout process going on, and he may or may not get his money this summer. They might wait until next year. So he's really unhappy about it, and he's got all kinds of plans, but they don't involve him actually working. So, he's working part-time, then he had 2 part-time jobs, and then like a week after I met him, he quit this one job and he's just working at another job, but he keeps complaining about that. And now he's had an interview for another job. So I offered to show him my gym. And the membership is very low, and it's very nice. He was complaining about his gym memberships. So I take him over there, and he's very, very flighty, can't seem to stand still, doesn't want to fill out the guest information. And then he goes over to, I give him a tour. And he is attentive, and he does pay attention, and I give him a full tour, and he just says he wants to check out the showers in the bathroom. So, and I had told I met a really nice neighbor. When I first moved in, I met a narc at the keypad who was, feigning incompetence and very rude. But you know what? After that, guys, it seemed like all of that was kind of out of my aura for good. And I've met nothing but nice people. Opening the doors in the elevator. And so we finish. And he says, no, I'm just going to keep my memberships. I might cancel them at the end of the month. So then I'm thinking, okay, this whole thing was a ruse. He did offer to let me work out, so I went to work out. He didn't want to be on the treadmill. He said, well, I've already worked out an hour this morning. But then he does say, do you want to go work out while we're here? So I did. After 20 minutes, I thought, okay, I'm just going to get back in his truck and let him take me back home. Well, for the hour that we were there, he had called me old lady 3 times. Or old. And it's really starting to bother me. I thought, I'm not so sure that this guy is as nice of a man as I thought he was. This is very verbally abusive. And anyone who tells you that you're overly sensitive, you need to just, there's no sense arguing with them or arguing back with them. But I'm telling you, this is verbal abuse. I got it. I'm very familiar with it, okay? It's not funny. I've never called him old. I'm only 8 months older than him. And so we leave and we get in his vehicle. But before we got there, I was getting in his vehicle, and he's saying, "Oh, can you make it? Can you make it all right there, old lady?" I'm like, okay, I'm coming. And so when we get back over here, he mentions again the word old. And I get out of the truck and I say, "Don't rub it in." And I put my head down like, you know what? I really want you to stop. You're hurting my feelings. And instead of saying okay or I'm sorry, he lashes out at me and says, "Well, I could go date a younger woman." And it wasn't like that. It was just, "Well, I could go date a younger woman." And I was like, okay, I'm not invested in you. We're not dating. And I said, "Well, you know, younger people are immature." And he said, "Yeah, my last lady was in her 50s and she was so immature. Can't believe how immature she was." I'm starting to get a better picture of this guy. He's just threatened me. That's a threat, guys. Now, I'm not saying he's a narcissist, but he definitely is aggressive. He's got a wound. He's very triggered by the fact that I asked him to stop and that, you know, I'm going to be, or he's going to be, my age in about 8 months. He's been having health problems and he has been getting rid of them, but for some reason he just has been going to the hospital a lot. He said he's got a lot of hospital bills. So, you know, he's drowning in debt. I didn't judge him for that. But I did after that when I came upstairs and I started crying. Damn it all to hell, this guy is verbally abusing me. And worst of all, he didn't say I'm sorry or okay or, you know, I didn't realize. It's not funny. He had told me his previous girlfriend broke up with him. And I think now he's trying to tell me she was so immature. So I've been crying off and on about the fact that I simply asked him to stop, basically. He couldn't tell that I was hurt. And instead is telling me I'm homeless and I'm broke, but I can go get a younger woman. Yeah. She better be pretty naive. I think he knows in the course of our conversations. I have better credit. I make more money, because that subject came up as well. And I'm more accomplished, because I told him about the infrared machine and what it does. How do you know that? I said, I'm a licensed esthetician. What is that? A skincare specialist, similar to a dermatologist. All right, so now he's getting intimidated. I had no intention of bragging, but he asked me, how do you know that? So now I've allowed him to take 2 items out of my storage unit before the 4th of July so I could be out of there by the 5th because there was a big rainstorm supposedly coming. It's just a gray tote bin with antifreeze and then my Christmas tree. And I did not feel good about it. But I allowed him to convince me I wouldn't have to come back in the rain. So I suppose now, you know, he's going to get mad about that. I don't care. I really would like to have my tree. My $20 Christmas tree with $10 worth of ornaments on it. But I'm just going to tell him I'm not interested in having conversations with a man who thinks it's okay to verbally abuse a woman, disrespect a woman, And when I ask you to stop, you lash out at me that you could get a younger woman? Well, she's got to be pretty naive, makes less than you. My God. You've been living in your truck for 3 years, and I do feel bad about that, because when you get comfortable with being uncomfortable, you don't realize how unhealed you really are. His partner died, he said, 3 years ago, and he had been taking care of her. Supposedly, since then, he's been in his truck. Doesn't seem to care about himself unless he has somebody else to care about. And even a counselor told him, you need to start taking care of yourself. But he's not doing it. So it's not my job to fix him. It's my job to state my position. And so now I have to tell him, I'm really not interested in listening, having a conversation with someone who just wants to devalue me, insult me. It's verbal abuse. And when I ask you to stop and not rub it in, you lash out at me. So I wish you well. I do hope that you get everything you're hoping to get. But aside from that, I'm not really going to try to educate him or fix him and say, I don't really think you realize how bad your situation is. You know, living in your car is a short-term plan. If you watch videos, a lot of people are miserable living in their automobile for months. And when you're comfortable with being uncomfortable for 3 years, it's you don't realize how unhealthy your situation really is. It is not proper shelter. A 2-room tent at the state park would be better. He's claiming he wants to live at the state park in a camper, but anyway, that's the story for today. Thank you for listening. I am here for anyone who is struggling, whether you are an empath, a codependent. There are, of course, the narcissists who like to go to channels and learn and then try to shut you up by insulting you. And so I really had to just take the advice of my spirit guide and not respond at all with the person online. Now with the person face-to-face that I'm dealing with now, of course, that's different, and I'm going to have to tread carefully, but I will keep you posted as to how I deal with it on this healing journey of being an awakened empath. God love you and God bless. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself, and I will talk to you later.